Smoky and Nessa deserved each other, and Nessa deserved to die. Hello, guys and gals, and welcome back to this week's episode of Yip to My Yap. I am so excited about this episode. Yada, yada, yada. You know I'm Erica Starr. Let's get to the point. This is Wicked from a New Yorker's POV. And the reason I'm doing this episode is because I saw all the hype about Wicked, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch the movie until I see the play. I saw the play last month, and I was like, yo, this is what the theater kids have, this is what they're gushing about. It makes sense. It makes all the sense. And I think that people need to hear the storyline to want to see it, because I knew nothing. I just knew that this was pre-Wizard of Oz. But now that I've seen it, I'm like, this, for lack of better word, is Wicked. The whole storyline is like, what the fuck is going on? So I am here to spoil Wicked for you, but honestly, the way that I'm gonna tell it, I don't think I'm spoiling anything. It's the equivalent to like when people say, oh, you ever seen that movie where, you know, the mother dies and then the son gets lost or whatever, and then it takes forever to find him and blah, blah, blah. And they're talking about Finding Nemo. That's the kind of feel I'm gonna give you for today's rendition of Wicked. Brought my wand out for this one. I love this thing. Anywho. Okay, so, one more thing. For those of you watching on video, I have a little notebook because this is not a situation for cue cards. I need thorough notes. I need to tell you guys, and I'm still gonna fuck up, but I'm gonna tell you guys as much as I possibly can. And you know what? Even more reason to go see it, because I could be completely wrong. But yeah, so let's start from the beginning. We got Glinda and we got Elphaba. Elphaba's the green one. For those of you who are just that far out of the loop. Elphaba's the green one. I might call her Elphaba. I might call her the Wicked Witch. I might call her Elfie. I don't know. All the same girl. And then we got Glinda. Glinda's the good witch. Glinda's the pink one. Glinda's Ariana Grande. You know the gist. Okay. So at the beginning, you got all these munchkins, and they're like, the Wicked Witch is dead, yada, yada, yada. That's the one with the ruby shoes. We're going to find out. Well, yeah, we're going to find out who that is. And they're like, the Wicked Witch is dead. Screw her. Fuck her, right? And then one of the munchkins is like, hey, Glinda, were you cool with the Wicked Witch? Is that a thing? What's going on there? And Glinda proceeds to tell some of the story of her and Elphaba. But before that, we get a little context as to why Elphaba's life was fucked up from the beginning. So, Elphaba got a mother and a father, right? Right. Elphaba has a mother and a father. And, you know, they're married or whatever the heck. Father leaves. Father's like, I'm in your heart, even though I'm far away. And then, you know, Elphaba's mom is like, yeah, whatever you say. He leaves, and she goes to be a little hoochie with this other guy. And he's like, hey, I'm only in town for a day. What's going on, right? And he's like, here, drink this stuff. Like, this dude is drugging her, right? And his green stuff. Big surprise, right? So he's like, yeah, let's have a little party. Let's get a little crazy, right? And then, you know, fast forward 9 months, homegirl gives birth. What color's the baby? Green. That's Elphaba. And then everyone's like, oh my God, she's green. And the dad's like, put her away. Oh my God, I hate that she's green. Racist. Got it. So then he's like, okay. He doesn't say okay. I don't know what I'm saying there. Scratch that. Point is, mother gets pregnant again. And the father is so scared of this kid turning green. He was like, drink milkwood or eat milkwood. I forget. Whatever. So pretty much the baby ends up white. That's what we're getting at. And so the mother gives birth. What happens to the baby? Paralyzed, legs don't work. Now we have Nessa Rose, the sister in the wheelchair. What happens to the mother? She dies. She dies after giving birth, as most mothers do in any dramatic play or movie. So, yeah, Elphaba is fucked from the beginning. She's already the other. And she's blamed for her sister being legless. Okay, not being legless. She got legs. She's not an amputee, but they just don't work. She's in a wheelchair. She's blamed for that, and I think that's stupid because the father was the one that fucked around and was like, "Here, have some milkwood." He's the reason that Nessa Rose has no legs, for lack of better wording. All right. So fast forward to later in life. We're all in school. I assume this is high school or college. I don't know. And the only reason that Elphaba is going with Nessa is to take care of Nessa while she's in college. So they get there and, everybody notices that Elphaba's green. Elphaba's like, all right, like, we've been through this. Yes, I'm green. And they meet Madame Morrible. Madame Morrible is one of the, I'm going to call her a teacher. She's probably not a teacher, probably a principal of some sort. I just know that she's good with the magic. And so they speak to her, and Madame Morrible was like, oh, Nessa can stay with me. But Elphaba was like, hello, the whole reason I was sent here was to take care of my sister. Who am I going to room with? So she's stressed about that. They're in class. Elphaba gets angry. Her powers show. She's like, ugh! And then shit starts moving around. And Madame Morrible is like, I want to privately tutor you because you got some skill there, hun. You got some anger. Let's use that shit. And Elphaba's like, whoa, can my powers be used for good? I've always been seen as bad. And if they're seen as good, that means I can see the wizard and he could turn me, what she said degreenify me. They make up so many stupid words in this play. That's one criticism I do have. What is up with all these fucking words? It's fine. But she's like, I don't want to be green anymore. And she's like, actually, no, haha, I don't care. I just want whatever the heck else it was that she wanted. It wasn't nothing crazy. She sings a whole song about the wizard, and she wants to see the wizard. At that point, I thought she had a crush on the guy. I had no idea what was going on, but she was like, I need to be with the wizard. And I was like, girl, you tripping. So, yeah. So like I said before, Elphaba doesn't have anyone to room with because Madame Morrible was like, oh, okay, I'll take Nessa. And Glinda's like, oh, like I'll room with her. Glinda is seen as the goodest of all good. Glinda is, at least by the Munchkins, seen as perfect, even though she can be manipulative, even though she be a little self-centered. I personally, after saying that, I hate saying this, but I do resonate with Glinda more than I do Elphaba. That could be for another episode if you guys want to see that. But yeah, Glinda and Elphaba end up rooming together, and then they sing a song about how much they hate each other. And they are both just bitching. And Glinda's like, she's green and she's weird and I don't think I can do this, but I'm going to because I'm supposed to. And then Elphaba's like, this fucking white bitch is getting on my nerves. And so they sing together about how much they hate each other. And that's that. So let's go back to school. They got this professor. He's a goat. And, he's seen as an other because he's one of the last animals who are also teachers. And at the beginning of class, I cried at this part personally. He flips over the chalkboard to the part that he's going to write on, and it says that animals are meant to be seen, not heard. That shit made me cry. That was, to me, probably the saddest part of Wicked. I was like, how dare they? That is so messed up. Not a fun time. But Elphaba's like, yo, I relate. I'm going to share my lunch with you after class. So, my nose is itchy. Yeah, class ends and they start talking. And I think the goat is like, something's going on. Like the animals are losing their rights. And Elphaba's like, no fucking way. That's terrible. We got to do what's right. And the goat's like, no. I'm not going to have my name attached to that. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to be silenced for the rest of my life if that means I can keep my job. And Elphaba's like, that's wrong. You got to do something, right? And that's that. That's all we hear about that. And then Mr. Pretty Boy comes into the school, Fiyero. Now, I like Fiyero, but we're gonna get to that. He comes in and he's like, I'm handsome and I'm beautiful and I've been kicked out of all these schools and they tell us to stop being shallow and callow and la 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 la. And he's just like, he's just flowing. He just live, laugh, loving. He sings a whole song and he's like dancing through life. And he's just, yeah, like I'm that guy, right? And Glinda's like, ooh, I want me some of Fiyero. It doesn't look like Fiyero was feeling her from the jump. That's my opinion. He's singing his song. He's talking about finding the most beautiful girl and completely looking over Glinda. And Glinda's still like, I want that one. I want that one. So he continues to sing, sing, sing. And this fucker, Bach is a munchkin who is helplessly in love with Glinda. And he cannot see that she's not feeling him. At no point was she like, I might like you, Bach. Nothing. She gave him nothing. Nothing. And Bach was just like, oh my God, Glinda. Like, she's trying to fill up on Fiyero while he's singing. And Bach just keeps cock blocking. And I'm just like, yo, Bach, like, go find another munchkin. What made you think you could have Glinda? You're stupid. So Bach was mad. Slight interruption. It's all right. We move on. Anywho, Bach is dumb. So Glinda was like, you know what? You know what would be amazing? If you asked that tragically beautiful girl, the one in the chair, to the dance. And maybe I'll fucking think about dancing with you because you're so desperate. She didn't say all that, but that's how she felt. And Bach was like, say fucking less. And there he went. He asked Nessa to the dance, and Nessa was like, oh my God. She goes and tells Elphaba, like, could you believe it? And Elphaba's like, oh my gosh, that is unbelievable, but sure. Elphaba goes to talk to Glinda. I was like, oh, like me and Nessa were just talking about you. And Glinda's like, and I was just talking about you. And gives her a black hat that she had previously said that she hated. And she was like, I don't hate anybody enough to give this hat to. And then she was like, oh, Elphaba. Gives the hat to Elphaba. And then, hold on, let me refer to my notes. La, la, la. Oh, and so then Glinda finds out that Elphaba asked Madame Morrible to tutor Glinda instead of her because she was like, oh, like this girl gave me a hat. Like, that's nice. Let me do something nice for her. So Elphaba comes to the dance wearing the hat and everyone's like, ha ha, you're fucking ugly, you're green, and you got a stupid hat. Glinda kind of feels bad. And she does this weird dance thing with Elphaba, and Elphaba's like, all right. And they have a moment. And though on Glinda's end it was from guilt, it was still a sweet moment. So they get back to the room, you know, after, you know, doing the whole little dance, yada, yada, yada. And hold on, where are my notes? Oh, I skipped a page, my bad. Anyways, they get back home from the dance or to their dorm. And that's where we get the famous popular. You're gonna be popular, right? Because Glinda's like, all right, listen, now that we friends and shit, like, I can't let you walk around looking all stupid. She doesn't change much. She just teaches her how to flip her hair a little bit, give her a little blush. She's good to go. So, what happens? Oh, okay, we're back at school. So, the goat teacher I was just talking about, homeboy gets fired. And everyone's like, oh my God, why'd he get fired? And especially Elphaba. Elphaba's like, we just had this talk about animals losing their rights. Oh no. And so the replacement brings in a cub, like a lion cub, and like starts torturing it or something. It was terrible. Not a good time. And Elphaba does some witch shit and pretty much everybody freezes in time or falls asleep. I forget. But only her and Fiyero are like conscious. And I'm like, oh, we're getting a moment between Elphaba and Fiyero. What's going on here? So they both take the lion cub, take him off somewhere, I don't know where. And they're just getting a little like, you have a heart and me too. And like, we're both like kind of got some empathy. Look at us. And they have a moment. And Fiyero was like, oh shit, I don't like the pink one. I like me some green. So time passes and Glinda kind of realized like, oh, Fiyero not feeling me like that. What is going on here? And Elphaba notices that, but Elphaba's not going to make a move on Fiyero because she's like, you know what? Like, Glinda's kind of my friend. And Elphaba gets invited to meet the wizard. And she's like, you know what? Like, come with me. Just come. You know, it's not going to be that bad. So Elphaba and Glinda go meet the wizard. Madam Morrible's there. And we're like, what the fuck are you doing here? I thought you was just back at the school. Things get a little confusing. And Elphaba's like, hey, wizard, I want to help the animals. Let me help the animals. I don't care about being green. I just want to help the animals. And the wizard's like, all right, cool. Here's a book. Read the spell and do some alakazam. Bro, Elphaba starts like, I'm not even into religion like that, but whatever she was saying sounded like Satan. I don't even want to try to recite whatever the hell she was saying. I didn't like it. And I was right to not like it. Why? Because, so there's monkeys hanging around, right? The monkeys grow wings and not like in a cute little poof kind of way. Like they just start just coming out of their backs. And now you got these evil monkeys with wings. And yes, those are the same ones that are in the Wizard of Oz movie that we all know and love. And Elphaba was like, what the fuck? I didn't mean to do that. Like that was not the point of what I was trying to do. What is going on? I need to, I want to fix them. What the heck is happening? So then, what happens? She realized, so Elphaba realizes like the wizard is a fraud and that he didn't know how to do any of the spells because that's just not his thing. He's just a fucking loser. And so she takes the book, runs off with it. And Glinda's like, she's just trying to play it cool. Glinda was just like, hey, like, can we not with all this drama? Like, can you just like bring it back? Can we act like everything's fine? Like, do we have to save the world right now? Like, I'm just kind of not fucking with that right now. And Elphaba's like, no, like this is kind of crazy. This is bad. But Glinda gets it. Glinda's like, you know what? Like I couldn't do that, but I'm glad you do, or you are. So that's that. And then Elphaba just kind of goes a little woo-woo, and she puts the same levitation spell that she put on the monkeys that gave them the wings on this broom. And then that's how we get to the whole like defying gravity. And Elphaba just fucking flies into the sunset. Madam Morrible tells all the munchkins, she's the wicked witch. She's bad. She's terrible. And they start running around with whatever story they want to tell about the witch because the homegirl disappeared. We don't know where she is. And then we go, Alrighty. So you're going to notice I got a lot more notes for Act 2 because too much happened. Way too much. Way too much. So get ready, get your popcorn. Because here we go. Define. All right. We start Act 2 at a surprise engagement party. This is only a surprise to Fiyero because Glinda knew about it. And Glinda was like, this is our fucking life. This is what we're doing. And Fiyero is just like, I mean, I guess whatever, but he's like, where is my girl? She just went off on a broom and literally nobody cares. He's tight. And she's just cranky. Glinda notices it and Glinda's like, we're happy, right? We're happy, right? And she's quickly realizing he don't like her. So now we cut to Elphaba. Elphaba sneaks her way into Nessa Rose's house. Mind you, time has passed. Much time has passed. Nessa Rose is a bitch. Because in all this time, Nessa Rose obviously still no legs. Well, unable to walk, disabled, in a wheelchair, whatever. And she has used Bach as her servant because he was suckered into being with her all because he was in love with Glinda. And she was like, you know what? I'm going to use you because I know you're going to fucking feel guilty for the rest of your life. So he does whatever she says. They live together and that's that. So Elphaba, she like poofs into their closet and opens the door and it's like, hey, Nessa, I need your help. Well, not I need your help. She's like, I need dad's help. And Nessa's like, bitch, dad died from shame. He's ashamed of you, which I thought it was funny. But yeah, the father died of shame. And now Nessa Rose, this evil woman, is the mayor of Munchkin Land. So all the Munchkins are miserable too because she's like, I've been suffering my whole life. All you guys need to suffer too. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like she was doing by far the most. And then she tells Elphaba, like, girl, like, you've been here trying to help the animals. I've literally, have not been able to walk my whole life. Hello? And Elphaba was like, I don't know. Elphaba was nice. Elphaba was like, okay, cool. She takes the ruby red slippers that we all know. She does a little bibbidi bobbidi boop. And she's like, here, Nessa can walk. I said, look at this shit. What the fuck is going on here? So Nessa can walk, and Bach is like, I'm free. I don't have to do anything for you anymore because you can walk. Thank goodness gracious. Thank you, Elphaba. My life is amazing. And Nessa said, slow your fucking roll. Slow it. Real slow. And she takes that, remember that book that I said that Elphaba stole from the wizard with those spells and shit? Nessa takes it, and she does that devil Satan shit that Elphaba was doing. And obviously, she doesn't know what she's doing. So she's just putting together some janky-ass spell. And boom, Bach almost dies. And Nessa tells Elphaba, sister, my lovely sister, after she just yelled at her about, oh, you don't help me, you don't do nothing, blah, blah, blah. She's like, help, he's almost dead. So Elphaba, once again, being lovely, was like, all right, she did some more bibbidi-bobbidi boo. She pretty much made a spell so that Bach can live without a heart because it seemed like his was dying. Boom, Tin Man. Now Bach is the Tin Man. And now Bach is tight. And he runs off the stage. And all I can remember is when he did it, he was like, ah. And that shit was hilarious. So, that's that. And then Nessa's like, this is all your fault. Even though Nessa just had this whole fucking rage moment. Like, Nessa's literally the reason all of this happened. But whatever, Nessa's innocent, right? I don't like Nessa. Nessa deserved to die. I will stand on that hill. No, die on that hill. Like Nessa. Under the house. Anyways, so Elphaba's like, fuck. Like, all right, my dad can't help me. Nessa's a bitch. Who do I go to next? She goes to the Wiz. And pretty much she agrees to work with the Wiz. And she's like, for as long as you set the monkeys free. Remember the ones with the wings? She's like, just set them free, like bare minimum, because I can't undo the wings. He's like, okay, cool. Sets them free. She sees a little blanket moving in the corner. She's like, what the fuck is that? He's like, oh no, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing. It's the goat. The teacher from earlier. It's the fucking goat. And she was like, all right, I'm not a fan of this. Never mind. I take it back. And then the Wiz is like, no backsies, calls the guards in. So the guards come in. Fiyero's one of the guards. And Fiyero's like, oh shit, that's my woman. What the fuck is she doing here? So he's like, all right. Points the gun at Elphaba and tells the guards, yo, go get me some water so I could go melt this girl. And the guards go because they're all stupid because they all believe that she could be melted by pure water. And then the guards leave and he points that shit at the Wiz. And then what happens next? Hold on. Because this is where stuff starts getting weird. Points it at the Wiz. Glinda comes in. She's like, oh, like, you know, she's pretty much telling him, like, be a cop. Like, can you not, like, be all fake and shit? Because she's still trying to not believe that he's feeling Elphaba, but that's the truth. And he was like, actually, go back to the engagement party because I'm leaving with Elphie. You ain't shit. I don't want to marry you. Like I said, he didn't say all that, but that's kind of what he was giving off. Glinda was like, ooh. And then Glinda starts singing the, I'm not that girl, whatever. And she gets all sad the way that Elphaba was sad at the beginning. So this is where things get a little like, for me. I'm just gonna paint the scene for you. So it's dark and there's mist everywhere, and on the floor are Elphaba and Fiyero. This is a whole new scene. And they sing this song, and it's just a whole lot of sexual tension. They're getting close, and he's kind of touching her breast without touching her breast. I was like, what is happening? I'm not a fan of like, this is the Wizard of Oz. This is not the Wizard of Oz that I know. And at the end of this song and whatever spectacle that they give us, Elphaba was like, I finally feel wicked. And for me, that was just a translation for horny because they were getting freaky in the smoke. Like, I don't know, man. Like, why are we just beating around the bush? Like, come on, he's pretty much in the bush. And yeah, and then I was like, I don't know, I didn't like that because by wicked, she could also meant like I'm a terrible person because I took Glinda's man. Like, now you're just mean. Like, what's up with you? You just a little grimy whore or whatever. Live, laugh, love. So they're in this like hot and spicy moment. And Elphaba's like, oh my God, I feel like something's wrong with my sister. And she leaves this hot and heavy moment. I was like, girl, you better than me because Fiyero's popping. I like Fiyero. So before that, Madame Morrible and the Wiz were like, how do we get Elphaba to come back? Because, you know, we need to capture her. She can't speak, yada, yada, yada. Now, this is the part where everybody says, Glinda killed Nessa. No, the fuck she didn't. Glinda said, Elphaba cares about her sister. We need a rumor. We need to spread a rumor about, like, you know, something being wrong with Nessa. Madame Morrible controls the weather. The house fell on Nessa because Madame Morrible was like, whoosh, 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 dropped the house. That had nothing to do with Glinda. Glinda made a suggestion. Madame Morrible was the one who, like, threw shit way out of whatever the fuck. No. Stop blaming my girl Glinda. That was not her fault. So the house falls on Nessa. Elphaba appears. And she's like, hey, like, I felt something wrong. Oh my God, there's a house on my sister. And then, like, this bitch just got all like, Fiyero never loved you. He loved me the whole time. And Glinda's like, bitch, smacks her back. They smacking each other. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? And so then the guards come in. And what happens? Okay, the guards come. And then Fiyero threatens to shoot Glinda. I'm like, you backstabbing bitch. Like, you were in love with me at least a little bit. At least a little bit. Now you threatening to shoot me? So, what happened? Threatens to shoot Glinda. And if the guards don't let Elphaba get away, Elphaba gets away. And the guards tie, you know, Fiyero up like Jesus. And they're like, we're going to torture you. How dare you be on the side of the witch? Yada, yada, yada. And then Elphaba goes to Fiyero's castle because that's like their little hideout spot. And there's a whole crowd outside and they're like, kill her. She's wicked. She's terrible. Kill her. Oh my God. Blah, 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 blah. And Bach is out there. Well, the Tin Man now. And he's just like, fuck her. We hate Elphaba. She's wicked. She's stupid. Blah, blah, blah. And then he's there with the lion. And he's like, you know, she's the reason I'm a Tin Man, and she's the reason that this lion doesn't have any courage because she never let him fight for himself. He's talking about when Elphaba defended the cub in Act 1. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's where the lion comes from? That is foolish. That was just stupid. And Bach just keeps complaining. Maybe if you went for women who liked you, you wouldn't be going through this. But instead, you wanted to have pity, fake pity, actually, because you really wanted Glinda. Bro, Bach pisses me. Bach and Nessa deserved each other, and Nessa deserved to die. Shit. All right. Where are we up to? Okay. So Elphaba starts doing her bibbidi bobbidi boop alakazam shit again because she's like, oh my God, they're torturing my man. Let me put together a nice little spell so that he doesn't get hurt. You know what that shit turns him into? A scarecrow. Because I guess scarecrows never get hurt. But like, that connection was odd for me, but whatever. It's the Wizard of Oz. So yeah, she does a little bibbidi bobbidi boop. And then what else? So, Glinda wants, you know, all of Oz to stop telling lies. And Madame Morrible's like, no. And Glinda's like, okay, like, I just want to people please everybody. And I guess that's what it'll be. What else we got in here? Oh, okay. So after that whole spell thing, Glinda comes to the castle. And at this point, Elphaba has Dorothy trapped somewhere in a cage or dungeon or whatever. Because, you know, if you watch The Wizard of Oz, like, that's part of the movie. And Glinda was just like, yo, like, let Dorothy go. Like, please, let her go. And Elphaba's like, the shoes, she's wearing my sister's shoes. And Glinda's like, bro, it's just a pair of shoes. And in all fairness, Nessa's a bitch. Why do you want her shoes? They're stupid shoes. They meant nothing until you enchanted them. What, you're going to make somebody else walk? I think it's foolish. So that's that. And then Elphaba tells Glinda to leave. And then Glinda was like, wait, like, I'll tell everybody the truth and everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be all good and dandy. And then Elphaba's like, no, because all this reputation that you built is going to all go kaput. And because you're known as being so good. And if you're associated with me, it's all going to go in shambles. And so then they hug and then they do the, because of you, I've been changed for good. And they kind of accept their goodbyes. They're like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to see you in this lifetime ever again. And that is so sad. And there's still a crowd that's like, kill the witch. And Dorothy, obviously, in the movie, kills the witch. So, yeah, so Glinda hides because Elphaba can't be seen with Glinda. And she lets Dorothy loose. And as we all know, pours the water on the witch. I'm melting. And the witch dies. So one of those flying monkeys goes up to Glinda and was like, here's a little green bottle. And Glinda was like, I know this green bottle. We're going to get to that. And so then, what's it called? What happens? So then Fiyero pops into the castle through the window, opens up a trap door, and reveals the witch, reveals Elphaba. And so Elphaba never died. Elphaba didn't die. Elphaba fake melted into a trap door. And then Fiyero was like, poof, get my woman, and I'm out. So back to that bottle I was just talking about. Glinda had seen that bottle before in the wizard's like lair or castle or whatever. This is the same bottle that, I forgot to tell you this earlier, that Elphaba kept under her pillow in the dorm because it was the last thing she had left of her mother. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, you would realize the wizard is the deadbeat father who impregnated her mother, drugged her up, and gave her a green baby. The wizard's a fucking, oh my God. Like, if I didn't hate the wizard, you know, halfway through the damn play, I hated him now. Like, oh my, the wizard is just a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. So Glinda was like, wizard, banished from Oz. And Madame Morrible, prison for life. That's it. So yeah, that was that. And then back to Fiyero the Scarecrow and Elphaba running away. They were like, we can't tell anyone, not even Glinda. We're gonna run away and live our lives together as a witch and a scarecrow. And that's what they did. And then we go back to the beginning of grieving Glinda. And, you know, her listening to everyone be like, no one mourns the wicked. Oh my God, stupid bitch. And she's actually sad because she thinks that the girl who was once her best friend is dead. And that's the karma Glinda has to live with for the rest of her life. And the way that I see it, listen, Glinda had her moments. She had a lot of bad moments throughout this play. I feel like she was learning throughout. And I think that I think we can cut her some slack because she has to live thinking that Elphaba's dead and that she's never going to see her and that she'll never get closure. I think living the rest of her life thinking that she was there for the last moments before Elphaba's death is enough for her. I think she got her karma. I think she's fine. And that concludes my rendition of Wicked. Yeah, that was really fun. That was really fun to do just now. Anywho, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I don't know if you listen to this all the way through, let me know what you think. My dog is getting very irritated with me. He wants to go to bed. It's 1 a.m. right now, and I got a bunch of lights on in my room. So there's that. Like I was saying, anywho, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, or whatever you're streaming or watching services you do. Give me 5 stars. Leave me a review. Leave me comments. Engage with me, please, please, anybody. And that's all. So I will see you guys next week. Bye.